Yup, doing a video about Arc Raiders. The game's been out for feels like almost a week now. I've been playing for 3 days straight. Just giving my thoughts about what they need to improve, what I think is already good, and maybe things I would like to see. Not necessarily good ideas or bad ideas, just things I would like to see. But let's start with the things that they need to improve on. Um, I've heard a lot of people criticize the free loadouts, which I kind of agree. That free loadouts are very abusable, but I feel like also in the same thing they need something that allows players to feel powerful, because you got to think about it. It's still an extraction shooter, and one of the biggest not necessarily problem, but one of the biggest things that get people to not play extractions is when you have nothing and it feels like everyone has everything. A lot of people don't play video extract shooters because of gear fear. That's what it's called. Gear fear. You don't want to bring in things. Basically, you lose more than you gain in extraction shooters in the long run, especially if you're a casual. So I do think free loadouts need a tweak. I've heard people on Twitter say that maybe free loadouts should only be able to come in the half the raid time. So a raid is 30 minutes max. People are saying that maybe a free loadouts should only be able to hop in raids when there's 15 minutes left. I do think that's a good idea. And that's actually a good idea, and I think they should try that. I also think that there should be maps that don't allow free loadouts. Yeah, there should be maps that don't allow free loadouts. I don't think any map should have a what's it called? A value limit, an equip limit, like an Arena Breakout Infinite. There's a amount of gear you can only bring in to I forgot what it's called, but it's like Forbidden Farm. You have to have like 200,000 worth of cash on you in gear. Of loot value. I don't think any map should have a loot value, because I feel like you will limit the maps severely, because people aren't just going to go to the maps. If you gotta force them to have 200,000 of equipment, of a level of equipment on them, I don't think they're not gonna go to that map because of the fear of losing it. But if all maps are just open to whatever gear you want to bring in, well, you always have players for maps. And I think they shouldn't do that. I'm not really sure what they should do to nerf the free loadouts, although I don't think it's a bad idea to nerf them. They are very strong. I do use free loadouts more than I use actual loadouts, especially for quests. Now, if I'm going in to do some PvP, I'm going in to use a key card, I will use a guarantee loadout just because I want to carry more and have that safe box. But most of my time is spent in free loadout because you don't lose anything. You gain way more than you lose with free loadouts. Now, also, that being said, I feel like if you remove free loadouts, you gotta have, obviously they're not gonna remove free loadouts, but let's say they did tweak it to where there's a limit per hour, or there's a limit, a cooldown. Maybe there's like a 15-minute cooldown. I don't really think that's going to solve anything. I feel like if you put a 15-minute cooldown on a free loadout, people are just going to do a free loadout, right? And then they're going to take a basic gun, nothing on them, and they're going to just free loadout like that, and then they're going to bounce back to the free loadout and then rinse and repeat. I think like free loadouts is definitely probably the most player friendly thing you could do for an extraction shooter. That's what I like about Arc Raiders. Probably my biggest compliment I can give to Arc Raiders is that it has the complexity of an extraction shooter, but it puts it in different areas. So when you play something like ABI and you play something like Tarkov, um, they have complexity in how you build your gun, uh, all the different type of helmets, all the different type of body shields, backpacks, and all that. There's so many things in Tarkov and ABI that are complex, that are not friendly, that are not beginner friendly. They're not. There's something where if you get in and you're scared, you get hit with all these numbers, you get hit with all these 100 different backpacks, 100 different helmets, and it's like, okay, you just want to buy the most expensive stuff. But if anybody knows, if you play these games, the most expensive stuff is not always the best for some reason. You don't know how to build guns in these games, but in Arc Raiders, it doesn't put its difficulty into things like that. Shields are shields, and health is health. Some shields heal you more, and some health heal you more. It's literally that simple. But it puts its complexity in how you deal with the arcs, because every arc is different. Like you got to aim for the thrusters. You got snitches, who you got to destroy. Probably the most dangerous enemy in the game is snitches, and it puts it there, and it puts that complexity there. You have to deal with the snitches, and then you also have to deal with like humans dealing with you, dealing with the snitch, and other arcs. It also puts its complexity in the map design, having all the bots inside of buildings is another thing. And I understand like Tarkov and ABI, they have their scavs, but the scavs in them games are easy. They're not complex. You just see them, they miss every shot. You just shoot them in the head one time, they die. That's not with this game. If you shoot an arc in this game, and if you shoot an arc, you immediately assume that someone's going to try to kill you in the game. There's also so many materials that you can recycle, you can sell, you can craft. And that's another part of the complexity where the game is not trying to scare you with its complexity of its materials. It's pretty simple. Get this material and you use it to craft this. And it's simple things like that where you don't need, like Tarkov and ABI are not friendly. They're not friendly games. You can play Arc Raiders from right now, the way the build is. You can play Arc Raiders a year from now, and you can still learn the game. It's not trying to scare you. You don't have to worry about 100 helmets. The map has icons on it that tell you what you're looking for. There's plenty of maps. There's plenty of things to learn. There's different attachments. There are different attachments, but they tell you what they do. So you don't really have to like go into a training room, or you don't have to force yourself to go into a raid and test it out. It tells you this gives you more mobility with it when you're running. This makes it easier to aim. This makes it quieter. And it's simple things like that still add the complexity, because you have to craft that, you have to put it on your gun, and it makes the gear more, and it makes the gear better for you to fear losing it. It's another thing. Also, the game is third person, another complex part to it, where in ABI and Tarkov, you're first person, and you don't really have to worry about someone peeking you around the corner. So let's say, you shoot, like, same thing, you shoot someone in Tarkov, or you shoot someone in ABI, you can easily push them because you know they can't see you coming. And if they peek it, they have to assume you're already there, and it's safer to do that. In Arc Raiders, if you shoot someone with a sniper, you can't push that guy if he's behind the wall, because you have to assume that he's looking at you coming, and he will get the jump on you every single time. And that's another complex thing. Like, a lot of people were not sure about the third person, and that's fine. Shooters being third person don't always work, but I'm fine with this. Like I said, I don't think third person is bad. I just think it's a different level of gameplay style. Like it's just different. That's how I see it. Another thing I gotta give Arc Raiders compliment for is the maps. The maps in Arc Raiders are all 10s. They're all different things. They're all different too. Like, the levels of learning these maps is something that I feel like is going to take forever for people to do. And I'm glad they do have the map, because that's another thing. Like, they could have easily not gave you a map, or not gave you the icons on the map at that too, but they gave you that, and it's still, you still have to learn the map. You still want to spawn in. You still want to know where you're going. You still want to know where the best loot is. You don't always want to go to your map. You don't always want to go to your map. And I feel like with all the maps they have and the night raids on the maps, it allows for a lot of learning, which is very important in extraction shooters. Probably the most important thing is in the extraction shooter is how much is there to learn and how long does it take me to learn it, because people don't want to pick up a extraction shooter and instantly learn it. People like the complexity of it, and I feel like this game allows for casual players and experienced players to do both. It's a very good, it's a very nice way to balance your game. Another positive of Arc Raiders is the proximity chat. Um, proximity chat is um, proximity chat might be top three things in Arc Raiders. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It is so fun to just be raiding and then someone shoots you or you shoot someone and then they turn on their voice chat and they're like, yo, friendly. And then you just go through the whole raid and you just loot with them, you just do your thing together. I've had like many encounters where that has happened, where people are just trying to chill. And it doesn't remove the PvP, because you will get PvP in this game. It is not as friendly as it may seem in some videos. Like, you should definitely shoot first and ask questions later. Like, I've lost plenty of my loot to players who were fair play. Like, I haven't ran into a traitor yet who says we're friendly and then shoots me. No, everybody's been fair, but I have ran into my players that, just kill me. They outplayed me. And it's very fun. I like the proximity chat. It's very cool to just talk to people. People have helped me on quest. I have helped someone on quest recently. Like, I played with one guy, and I helped them on a quest, and then we killed the team together, or they were two solos who were working together, and we stole their loot and we extracted together. That moment was fun. It was a 10 out of 10 raid, a 10 out of 10 experience. It's probably one of the best ads for this game is their proximity chat and the way people interact with it. And that brings me to another point of a game called Marathon, who I don't know if they're going to change their mind. I think looking at Arc Raiders and the success they're having, I feel like they might change their mind with the proximity chat. When I heard Marathon wasn't having proximity chat, I instantly thought it was a stupid idea not to do that. All games, all multiplayer games, not all of them, battle royales, they don't really need proximity chat. I don't think they really benefit from it, because your goal is to win. Your goal is to win. In an extraction shooter, your goal isn't really necessarily to beat other players all the time. Sometimes you're just coming in there for a material and you just want to extract. You don't even want to fight. You're just trying to do a mission. You brought in no gear. You're just trying to leave. But in a battle royale, you always are trying to win the final circle. Like, someone has to win in the final circle. So in a battle royale, everybody is hostile. And strike shooters, you're not really hostile. And it's weird to see Marathon say they don't want proximity chat. Even looking over the history of video games of how much proximity chat gave players a fun time to do. It is very weird. I don't know why they don't. I'm not planning on playing Marathon at all. I don't even like the game. I don't even like the way the game looks. I don't think the game looks good. I don't like its art style. Um, yeah, that's right there. Like, if I'm not even interested in the way you look, I can't really play it. But I think they need to I think they need to have our proximity chat. And this brings me. It's just a random thing. It's not really about. It's about the game, but I heard Stroud, who I do like as a YouTuber and as a multiplayer player of video games. I watch him a lot when he's playing like Battlefield or Arc Raiders, or even like Path of Exile. I do like Stroud a lot, but he said Arc Raiders should win Game of the Year, and this I don't think Arc Raiders is game of the year. Expedition is still my favorite game of the year, and it's not even close. Expedition 33 is one of my favorite games of all time, just not even this year. I think it's probably one of the greatest games of the past decade. Um, I literally have it like better than like games like God of War Ragnarok. I have it better than Mafia Definitive Edition. I have it better than what else? I have it better than Lies of P. I have it better than Resident Evil 4. Expedition is one of my favorite games of all time. Um, I don't really think it's game. I don't like if Arc Raiders. I don't really care for the Game Awards. I do think it's cool for the game to win it because it always gives that game more publicity and higher chance of a sequel or more love for the studio. So I do like what the Game Awards do for video games. I just don't really care who wins. Like if Arc Raiders was to beat Expedition 33 or Ghost of Yote or Silk Song, if one of them were to beat Expedition 33, it doesn't make Expedition 33 any less lovable in my eyes. So, but if Expedition 33 does win, that's just another bonus for me. But I don't think Arc Raiders I don't think it's a game of the year. It's an S tier multiplayer game. It's so weird. Like, it's kind of hard to put it like, is it harder to make an S tier multiplayer game or is it harder to make an S tier story game? And that, especially with Expedition being turn based and being successful as it was, that's another thing. But if Arc Raiders was to win Game of the Year, I don't really mind. It would be deserved. Like I'm not going to say like, oh, Expedition 33 was robbed. Like I said, I don't really care. I don't think the players have a real choice in what wins Game of the Year. So if Expedition 33 doesn't win and something else does, I don't really care. But if Arc Raiders does win, I'm fine with that. There was one more thing. Oh yes. I in Arc Raiders. Another thing I have to give it props for is this. I feel like this does put a jump in the evolution of extraction shooters. And what I mean by that is extraction shooters doesn't need to be it doesn't have to scare you. Arc Raiders is not scary. I personally believe Arc Raiders is very beginner friendly. Um just with the free loadouts, the rooster who gives you free loot every time you load into the map, the traders and their prices for gear are very low. Things are very simple. The backpacks are, they tell you what you need. The tracking resources is huge. The map icons is huge. I feel like Arc Raiders is very beginner friendly while also having the deep depth and heavy competitive side. And I don't think a Shrek shooter has ever had a casual and a competitive appeal at the same time. With Arc Raiders, I feel like that it has both. That is a because like I played ABI and that sharp ass tooth right there. I played ABI and it's just not for me. Oh, another thing, prioritizing solos. I think Arc Raiders prioritizing solos was fucking phenomenal. It is literally the best idea this game has. Number one favorite idea. Like if I had to choose top three most important things that make Arc Raiders great, it would be prioritizing solos, free loadout, and proximity chat. All of them three things combined give you a very very good game in the multiplayer slash competitive scene. Um, Prioritizing solos is huge. I've never ran into a duo. I've never ran into a trio. Um, and the reason that's so huge is because 3 months from now, or a month from now, 2 months from now, most people are going to be playing solo. Some people are going to go back to their games. There's going to be other games. There's going to be other story mode games that release. Um, Other multiplayer games that release. Like people are going to go back to their Battlefield 6. People are going to go back to Call of Duty, Black Ops 7's coming out. Then you got Marathon coming out. People are going to Tarkov, ABI. Everybody's going to go back to their games, and once this game settles down, and they'll come back casually to play Arc Raiders here and there. And the fact that they don't, I mean, the fact that they do prioritize solos, that player who says, oh yeah, I want to play Arc Raiders today, he can come back, he can queue up with solos, he can queue up solo, and he can run into multiple solos. It's so nice knowing that when you knock a player, you won the fight. Um, it feels so good because I played ABI a lot. I try to give it a fair chance. I stopped playing ABI like 2 months ago maybe, but I was there when it was like not even on Steam. I gave the game a fair chance, and as a solo player, and kid you not, more times in solo I would run into multiple fucking players, and it hurts because like I would down one guy, right, and in my brain I'm like, oh, if this is a solo, I get all his loot, but he always has a teammate. I've ran into multiple teams of three in ABI after I down one person, and I lose obviously because there's three of them, and I have to reload, and I'm fucking hurt, and I'm bleeding, my fucking bone is fractured. Uh, so I just lose that fight. But in Arc Raiders, you down one player, you're good, and I like the flare system too. The flare system is nice because it's another thing that keeps you on your toes. Instead of like having to worry about a team of three, you have to worry about multiple players coming at you when you kill someone in the open and their flare drops. So it's a nice way to balance that where it's like you still got to worry about your back. Um, but that's it. Arc Raiders. If I had to give it a rating right now, I don't know how the game is going to progress. I don't know how this game is going to feel after like a month. But as it stands right now, Arc Raiders is a solid 9 out of 10 for me. 9 out of 10. Um, you know what? I give Arc Raiders a 10. I give Arc Raiders a 10. I think Arc Raiders is a solid 10 out of 10 game. I've always had fun. Every raid has been fun, even the ones I've lost. Like, even the raids I lose, I'm not feeling like I lost out of some cheeky bull crap. I'm understanding how I'm losing. I'm understanding where I made a mistake. I'm understanding like what I could have done better. I could have played it better. I could have healed. I could have threw a grenade. I could have put a trap down. I could have ran. I could have closed the door. I could have not fought a snitch in the open and have 100 arcs come on me. Um, I understand what I'm doing. I'm not getting mad at the game. I'm very. It's very rare for me to play an extraction shooter and not be pissed at me dying. Um, but Arc Raiders, yeah, it's a solid 10 out of 10 multiplayer game. Um, I fully recommend it. The hype is real. I played in Tech Test 2. I was in Tech Test 2 and in the Server Slam, and I already knew it was good then. I put a lot of hours into those. Actually, not really a lot of hours. I probably put like in total at a Tech Test and Server Slam, probably like 8. I didn't want to learn the game too much. I still wanted it to be fresh, so I played it a very little, but I knew I was going to guarantee get the game. And now that we're here, the game is solid. But peace. I seen the video and goodbye.